Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how to make a Suicide Boys type beat. So let's start with the sounds that I selected. We've got this flute kind of thing, which can be found under Zin sub FX in the Call Me Sound folder. You just gotta search a bit, but it's in there. Same with this sound and this sound. They're all somewhere in here. Then I've got this typical snare. I've added some reverb to it with these settings, just a little bit. Then we got this kick, this 808 cymbal, open head, this rim shot, another sound. Actually not sure, this can be found under MISC, yeah, right here. This hi-hat and the piano. So for the drum sounds, these are just really common trap drum sounds. You can probably find them in literally any drum kit that you download, so keep that in mind. And for the piano, it's as usual the 25 piano sound phones that can be found on Google as well. So let's get it started with the main melody. I'm gonna start with this flute. And for the Suicide Boys style, you want to make it really like creepy, horror type music, I guess. Some spooky stuff. So yeah. So yeah, you can hear it's really like dissonant. Now let's copy this into this and this. And this really sets the mood for the whole track. So this will be like the background ambience. Now let's move on to this counter melody, or like supporting melody, I guess, which will be made with this bell. Just as you can see, I'm starting with the note that we started here, now I'm going upwards here. Also a note that was included in the notes I used. Then down here, and a half step down, which is always good when you want to make suspense in your music. So basically what I did is I had this little 2-note thing going on, and I just basically put it 1 octave up in the second half, so we have a variation, and together it sounds like this. Pretty good. Now for the third melody, we're gonna go into the piano and basically just create another supporting melody with the same notes basically. So now you can see it's basically the same note but an octave down. Then we are gonna go back up and again. But this time we're gonna go the octave up. Actually, we're gonna go the octave up right here. So it gets really high. It's a real wide range of notes. And we're gonna take all this, copy it, Control C, paste it, Control V, and one octave down, Control arrow down. Now we have 2 octaves, and this is how this piano melody sounds. Pretty spooky. Let's see if it fits with our other melodies. Sounds pretty good to me. Now let's move on to the drums. Let's just start with the cymbal, because that's the easiest part. Fits. And the snare, I'm gonna add 3 steps. So we have a 4-bar loop. Put the snare in the usual trap spot, and at the end right here I'm gonna basically create a stutter with triplet notes. So you're gonna change this to 124 and put notes, just fill this so it matches, and it's 6 notes, and then adjust the volume. So we have the, I mean it's pretty common in trap music, this triplet stutter, especially since it matches the flow that most of the rappers nowadays use. So yeah, it goes really well with the whole beat. Now let's move on to the hi-hats. Just place it every second step as usual. And now we gotta make some rolls, of course. So let's make a long one at the end. But in triplet timing, sorry. So put this to 1/48 so we can place the notes right in between the boxes. Yeah. And then continue with the pattern every second step. And then we can add a roll here right before the snare hits, and another triplet stutter at the end. And let's copy all of this, make even more variations, so make this a 4-bar loop. I would just add another stutter here. And then maybe just another roll like we have here, right here. Yeah, but then remove the triplets and just put the second step, the common second step right here, so we have another stutter. Alright, let's move on over to the kick. Again, 3 times on this thing, so we have 4 bars. I would recommend leaving pretty huge gaps in between the kick and the separate kick notes. I feel like that's what's common in a lot of Suicide Boys songs, but I don't listen that much Suicide Boys, to be honest. And then here you notice that I'm putting one kick at the same spot as the snare sitting, which really creates more impact on that note, I feel like, and I think it's pretty nice sounding. Alright, next up is the 808. Go back to 100% and 1/16. And now I often get asked about this a lot. When you have this small note and you can't drag it out, what you need to do is click here instead of last note, go to anything really, place one note here, and then you can go back to last note. You can change it and it stays like this. So we're gonna go down here. If you remember, C4 is the note that's starting our whole melodies, so we know that it fits. This is where the first kick hits, this is where the second kick hits. Then again, this time we're gonna go up, because if you remember, we're going up with this melody right here. Then again, this is where the first kick hits, this is where the second kick hits, but I'm not gonna place another 808 here because I wanted to fade out, and then when the kick hits right on the snare spot, I wanted to have more impact. So we're gonna go 1 octave up. This is where the kick and the snare hit. This is where the next kick hits, so back down. And then an octave up from this note on where the last kick hits. So let's hear it. Whoops. Gotta place it. So you can really hear like the anticipation when this kick doesn't hit and then the high notes hit, and yeah, I think it sounds good this way, but feel free to do it any other way. Now we can add this percussion, just right here and here, and the open head. And this will just support our drum pattern, make it more interesting. So yeah, now we basically have all the elements we need. Let's structure this a bit. So I would just go with a relatively short intro with the atmospheric sounds in the beginning. Then this is where the hook would be. Just let everything play. I don't even build anything up, like leave out one melody and make it play in the second half, just everything. Then for the verse, we can leave the atmospheric sound play with the drums. I think that would sound good. Yeah, nothing special. So all of the drums. Then when 8 bars have passed, we can bring in the first supporting melody. Then for the second part of the verse, we can bring in the percussion. So right here. And then we can make a little bridge where I would just leave out the kick, the snare and the hi-hat, just have the 808 play, as well as all of the melodies. And then we're going back into the verse, back into the hook I meant, where everything plays again. So yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, that's not really the point of the tutorial. The point is really the composition and not the structure. So forgive me if this is a bit dull, but yeah, it has to be done. So now we're done. I'm gonna play it through. Thank you for watching and enjoy.